Well, the Central District Health Board met today, and one of the top agenda items, the social media policy. They wanted to have a discussion about it. Well, Central District Health maintained that it wants to remain free of any political bias, and they drafted a policy that prohibits CDH from reposting elected officials. And Andrew Bartline, he's following this for us today. I know you sat in on the meeting. There was a lot going on in the meeting. It sounds like the spirit of the law is to remain neutral here for the board and not show any favoritism or support for elected officials. But I guess, what does the discussion look like beyond that on this policy?
Yeah, the policy was generally supported, Joe. Nobody seemed to want any perceived bias on the board. Additionally, with that, the discussion did kind of talk about some exceptions. When would it be allowed to, retweet someone like Governor Brad Little if he's tweeting about AARP, information that's relevant to public health, things of that knowledge, and those instances, if it would be okay to repost that, retweet the elected official, because the district director, Russ Duke, argued in the meeting sometimes that is necessary because that's the medium to get the information out.
If we didn't repost that, that information would not be coming from us. It comes from their account, but back to the point of social media is you take information that you think is relevant and important for the community to hear about, public health, public safety, and you pass that on through your own posts so that your followers, people who are following Central District Health that may not be following Valley County commissioners, would then get that information. So there's not really another mechanism for that content and that medium to get the information out.
Now, discussion further tried to define who decides what qualifies as, public health value, and when does that line cross where an elected official gets favoritism by a CDH social media account. Ultimately, the board agreed that there is some gray area, and without a clean-cut answer for every case-by-case basis, they decided to start debating the language of the policy. They ultimately settled on that CDH will refrain from reposting content from an elected official's social media account. So, Joe, if CDH wants to get AARP information out, that's the example they kept using. They're not going to be retweeting Governor Brad Little. They'd probably go directly to AARP specifically, or maybe just do their own content themselves and tweet it out.
It's really interesting because Russ Duke's right. This is the medium that we really get a lot of our information from, especially in the news world, right on social media. And there really should be a discussion about, I guess, who's posting what and how is it posted. And it's something that you may not think about, but from an organizational standpoint, it's a really important conversation.
Yeah, and really that was their big point, is they don't want any perceived bias as well. They mentioned that there have been some political problems on the board in the past, or perceived political issues, so they just want to make sure that they're not running that line.
It's Andrew Bartline reporting for us here on the 208. Andrew, thank you.